What's going on, y'all? It's your boy Big Stacks Porzingis, Pee Wee the Plug, 1/4 through the wire, number one Knicks fan in the world, aka Mr. Know It All, and we back with the second episode of the highly anticipated The Group Chat. I've been putting out videos all week. I made myself a schedule of how many videos I want to put out a week going forward. You know, a realistic goal that I think that I can hit. And throughout the week, I was uploading a lot of different videos. I did the Coach P, I did the behind the scenes of Through the Wire. And in every video I've dropped since the first group chat introduction episode, a lot of people has been asking, when is the next episode of the group chat coming? When is the next episode of the group chat coming? And here we are, finally the second episode. I went back and I looked at all the comments from the first episode, and I pulled about 5 topics or questions that we can talk about in this second episode, and I think that's how we're gonna do it going forward. Every episode, I'm gonna look between 3 and 5 different topics or questions or comments that we can talk about and discuss in the next coming episode. And again, I'm usually trying to pick the ones that have the most likes and the most interaction. That's how I went with this one. That's how I'll be doing it going forward. If something is good and people didn't see it, or maybe didn't get the recognition it deserved, I'll also pull some questions as well. I got a couple of those that didn't get as many likes or any likes, and I still was like, that's decent enough to talk about on the group chat. So keep that in mind. I seen a suggestion about making a Discord. I may keep that in mind and do that soon as well, depending on how the series progresses and catches on to a lot of different viewers and subscribers within my community. But everything so far has been going great. I love the feedback y'all have given me about it, and I'm excited, just like y'all excited. And I got our first question from probably, a lot of people are day ones, but my most sincerest and realest day one, which is Matt Harris. And before we even start, I just want to say that a lot of the most liked and most interactive comments from the first video were about music. So I think this episode is going to be probably our music episode. I went out and I got a couple different questions and topics as well that didn't have to do with music, just so it wouldn't get tiring and boring. But the most liked, most commented, most interacted with comments all had to do with music. So the first 3 questions will be music based, and then we'll close out with 2 things that are off the subject of music. But first and foremost, for Matt Harris, my guy, he says, what is the requirements to be the GOAT of rap? Example, hits, lyrics, sounds, longevity, etc. I think you hit it all on the head, Matt Harris. I think to be the GOAT of rap, you have to have a little bit of everything. You know what I mean? I think you have to have the ability to be able to be a great rapper, bar for bar, and lyrics and lyricism. But then you also have to find the science and the ability to be a great lyricist, but still be able to make appealing records that can be quote-unquote radio songs. And I think you also have to have sales, but you also have to be critically acclaimed. So it's a little bit of everything. You got to have some creativity. You have to be somewhat of, original. You have to be saying something, of course. And I think so many artists that have done that, off the top of my head, Eminem. Eminem is a great lyricist. Eminem found a way to be original with his content, but not only was he original with his content, but even within his content, he was able to make successful radio songs and still have commercial appeal. He was critically acclaimed because of his wordsmith ability, and then he also, sold a lot of records. But when you think of songs like "I Am Whatever I Say I Am," if I wasn't, that was a very popular song. And there's not a lot of songs that even exist today that chart like that or was as successful. You think of another song, something like Mockingbird. That's very original. That's very like Eminem. It wasn't like he went out and got some popular R&B singer and they sung on the hook and he just put 3 verses down and it went, platinum. He really was really pushing the envelope of creativity at that time, and it was something different. He was a white rapper. So I think that Eminem kind of fits that. Another guy is Jay-Z. Jay-Z fits that as well. Jay-Z is a guy who is, very, very lyrical, and people, have respect for him lyrically. But he also sold a lot of records, also had a lot of big songs, a lot of big hits. So he has that commercial appeal. He has the success, but he also has the respect of the underground people who really love bars and lyricism. And what he's done for the game, to make everybody want to be bosses and to take ownership of what they're doing, I think pushing the culture forward and really being that impactful person that Jay-Z is throughout the rap culture, solidifies him as one of the GOATs. And one of those things that both of them also have, they've both also been in diss battles. They've had beef. I think that's another thing that people want to see from somebody that's a GOAT. People want to see, like battle. So again, it's like that thing I said at the beginning. It's like being able to do a little bit of everything. Being able to sell records, being able to go bar for bar with somebody, if you're beefing with them. Being able to go bar for bar with anybody, even if you're not beefing with them. Being able to have the best verse on a song with 4 other top tier rappers, which both of those guys have done throughout their careers. Kendrick Lamar is hitting that peak of being one of those GOAT guys. J. Cole even. An underrated name that doesn't get a lot of credit because he was in a group was Andre 3000. Andre 3000 has a mainstream appeal. He can make songs like Hey Ma, but then he can also word for word, bar for bar, eat you alive. You know what I mean? I think he doesn't get a lot of respect in that field, especially in this newer generation because everybody's so young. But Andre 3000 is definitely one of the top guys. But I just think that's the recipe. Being able to have a little bit of everything in rap, being able to be critically acclaimed. To be critically acclaimed is to really be lyrical, really be talking about something in your music, to really touch people, and really make those deep ass songs. Because the commercial and radio songs, the mainstream shit, that's cool for when you're driving in a car. But people really love and get attached to those songs that just hit them in the chest. Shit that you can just relate to. Shit that just make you feel a certain way. Just bring that emotion, show you, the connection you really can have with artists through music. That's what makes artists critically acclaimed. You know what I mean? Not the commercial shit. To Pimp a Butterfly is critically acclaimed because of the deep songs on there. Not because of We Gon' Be Alright. As good as a song that doesn't make it critically acclaimed. It's the album cuts within it that really touch you and hit you. Like You, for example. Those type of songs that really make you, connect to an artist and really feel what they're saying. So to be able to go platinum, have commercial radio success, mainstream success, but then also be critically acclaimed, get love from the underground. You know what I mean? Just being able to beef, people respect you as a lyricist, being able to hold your own in a beef. All of those things create that. Some people are just one-sided. Some people only make commercial songs. You can't be a GOAT rapper if that's all you do is mainstream shit. Some people are just underground. You can't be the GOAT if you're just underground. You know what I mean? As much as I love underground artists and underground rappers, you can't just be the GOAT as just a one-off underground rapper. It just doesn't work like that, unfortunately. And then I think also have an impact on the culture, like an Eminem being the first big successful white rapper and being able to compete and being one of the best rappers in the game, even with being white, was big. And I'm sure it made a lot of white people think, I can be a rapper. Same thing with Jay-Z, promoting everybody to boss up and be an owner and showing that you can do more than just rap. You can own clothing lines, you can own a liquor, you can do all of these different things. That is also a big part of it too, having that impact in the rap game. And longevity. Lil Wayne is a GOAT too, and is in that category. But what's going to hurt Wayne is that the last some of his years, it kind of looked like he's fell off and isn't as impactful or isn't as good as that Wayne from 2009. That Wayne, that prime Wayne. This Wayne just doesn't compare. And I know everybody, Eminem, same thing with Eminem. Eminem steady putting out albums in 20 whatever. These later years just don't do him justice because it doesn't sound right. It doesn't hit the same. So it kind of hurts him in a longevity run. But some of those guys have put in so much work in a prime that they can afford a few drop-off years at the end. But somebody like Jay-Z or Drake, what it looks like they're never going to fall off. It kind of easily makes them one of the GOATs. Even a guy like Andre 3000 still hasn't really technically fell off. The next topic or next question from my guy still in the music lane is from Amari Floyd. And he asked me, what is the best album of 2019? That is a very tough question, my friend. The best album of 2019. I don't know. Everything that I'm saying is just my thoughts and my opinions, and that's why we're doing this, so I can give my thoughts, my opinions, and then in the comments, or if I if I'm able to make the Discord, or if we're able to progress this series into having y'all be on here in any type of, way, we'll be able to get y'all thoughts, But personally, I'm going to go with Freddie Gibbs. Freddie Gibbs and Madlib's Bandana. I really love the album. I bumped that album a lot. It's kind of in that underground mode. You know what I mean? The content, the lyricism, the beats, it's just different. It's a different vibe. It's really original. And I just love I love the content, what he's saying in it. To me, that really was one of my favorites. Young Thug, so much fun. A lot of people have, people either love or hate Young Thug for whatever reason. But that album to me was legit. I don't think that album got enough attention or enough love. In my opinion, that album was definitely top tier. That was one of the best albums that did drop this year. Hate or love Young Thug. I don't know how y'all feel about him. But that was definitely one of my favorite albums front to back. And actually, while I'm actually trying to answer this question, I'm going to go through my iTunes and see what it is that I was listening to from 2019, because I'm a music guy that kind of goes around the whole forum, so I'll listen to stuff from everywhere. But I really did like that Young Thug, So Much Fun, and that Freddie Gibbs. I know those are probably my top two. But other than that, yeah, we didn't get Dreamville's album was very, very good. That was a very good album, but that was like a group collective. So I probably will go with Freddie Gibbs. As good as Young Thug's was, I'd probably still go with Freddie Gibbs. Kanye stuff was cool. It wasn't all of that, but it was cool. I like Young Thug's though, because it has same thing with Freddie Gibbs. I like both of those albums because they have like 15 songs. Kanye's albums are a little bit more shorter, 7-9 type range, so it's easy to get over that pretty fast. But yeah, I'm very curious to hear some of y'all opinions though, some of y'all favorite albums. A lot of stuff though, that's why this new age stuff is kind of different, because a lot of people, they release mixtapes and they get, they kind of get looked at as albums. So with the streaming services, you kind of, you don't know what's an album, what's just a project, what's just a mixtape. So everybody considers everything an album when that's not the case in actuality. But I am going to go with Freddie Gibbs. I'm trying to think hard to make sure I'm not forgetting anybody. I know we had YB and Cordae. His album was very good and very solid. Like I said, we had Dreamville. I know Future dropped some stuff. Lil Durk dropped some stuff. If I'm not mistaken, Herb dropped his stuff this year as well. G Herbo, for y'all that's not in Chicago. Fab just dropped something. A little bit of everybody has dropped something this year. Drake ain't dropped nothing. I know Baby and Gunna collab was from this year. I'm just trying to think real quick about every album that dropped this year. A Boogie had an album that came out this year. That was real cool. But I'm going to stick with Freddie Gibbs and Young Thug. The fact that those are the first two to come to my mind says something. Definitely drop yours in the comments and explain why. Explain what you liked about it, your favorite songs. I want to get real feedback on y'all answers in these episodes. Because if it's some stuff that I didn't listen to, if it's some stuff that if I skimmed past or I need to go revisit, I want to know exactly what it is that I need to revisit or what I could have possibly missed. And hopefully y'all could put me on something or show me that I was sleeping on something. Because music is definitely something I'm always interested to try to find something new. I know Wale dropped the album I don't think I listened to. So yeah, Freddie Gibbs and Madlib, Bandana, for y'all that want to know, to go check it out. Freddie Gibbs and Madlib. That's a specific type of sound and content. So be ready for boom bap beats and aggressive raps and flow. Freddie Gibbs do his thing, but it's definitely, you got to be ready for that. It's not a mainstream pop type sound, so be ready for that. And then Young Thug, y'all know how Young Thug get down. That was a good ass album as well. What's your guy from Chef? He says, what's your guys' personal top 5 rappers from this decade? Mine goes Mac Miller, Kendrick Lamar, Aero Sweatshirt, Kanye West, and Schoolboy Q. Okay, so this question at first confused me, because when he said this decade, I didn't know if he meant rappers that came out this decade. But then I looked at his answers and I saw basically every artist that he named didn't come out this decade. Like Kanye West was way before the 2010s. Kendrick Lamar, I was listening to Kendrick Lamar in like 08, so that's, you know, same thing with Mac Miller. He's like 09, 08. Schoolboy Q is like, maybe Schoolboy Q can be like a 2010 type guy. Earl Sweatshirt is probably 2011 era. But obviously, he's just saying, who are your favorite rappers from this decade? So when y'all dropping y'all answers in the comments, be sure to know he's not saying your favorite rappers from 2010 to 2019. He's just saying whatever rappers, who have you been listening to hard for the top 5 rappers for the last 10 years. Over the last 10 years, my top 5 rappers are probably J. Cole, Drake. I listen to a lot of Currency, a lot of Freddie Gibbs. I listen to a lot of Future. A lot of those guys. I have more. I've listened to a lot of Pusha T. I'm a big Pusha T guy. I'm a big Fabulous guy. Lil Wayne. You know, the last decade, Lil Wayne was at his peak in like 09. I think the Carter 3 came out in 2009. So Lil Wayne still classifies as this last decade, because Lil Wayne was still on fire in 09, 010, 011. Chief Keef had his emergence in 2012, so that was a big time. There's too many artists to name, because there's been a lot of different changes in music. We had the drill rap scene from Chicago, where it was Lil Bibby, Chief Keef, Reese, Fredo, Dirk, SD, that whole GBE movement, OTF. Then we had Herb and Bibby. So that whole drill rap, King Louis, that was a big moment. Then you still, like I said, a couple years before that, Wayne was still in his prime. The emergence of Drake from So Far Gone in 2009 was there. Then a warm up with J. Cole was like 2009. Then you had Section 80 from Kendrick. I have a lot of rappers. I'm a rap fiend. ASAP Rocky emergence came. You know what I mean? I'm a big rap head, so I can't just give you 5, man. There's eras in this small decade. There's been like sounds and like directions rap has gone. I remember everybody was into the whole singing on the hook Drake type thing. I just wanna be success, that type thing. Him and Trey Songz. That's when everybody started to sing on the hooks. Or when Drake first came out, Drake was just on every hook. He was on like, he had the Timberland song, I just want you to say something. Like, he was just on everything. That's before people was dissing him and shit like that. That's when DJ Drama and the Gangsta Grills was still putting out mixtapes before Apple Music. That's when you had to go to like live mixtapes and Dat Piff, Wiz, Cushion Orange Juice. I got too many to name, man, over this past decade. That's a good question, Chef. That's a good question. And I like your 5. Mac Miller is a dog. Macadelic is going to, be one of my favorites forever. Schoolboy Q, Habits and Contradictions was a very big album for me this decade. I love that album and that project. That's not even an album, but that just shows you, Earl, I love when Earl raps serious. And then Kanye and Kendrick Lamar, we don't even speak about them. But definitely give me y'all list, because y'all, I know a lot of y'all be having some very good ears of music, and it don't matter what the genre is for me. He said rappers, but I'm gonna just say music, musicians, artists, whatever, because I want to be put on to different genres and shit if it sound good. I don't like everything, but I'm open to anything. And that's what we're gonna end the music side. It looks like we about to hit the 20. We had like an 18 to 19 minute mark. But definitely give me all y'all feedback for all those music questions, because I'm definitely interested to hear what y'all listening to and who's been around for the eras I was just mentioning, where it was 09 Wayne at the top of his prime, DJ Drama and the Gangsta Grills, the early Kendrick Lamar, the early Schoolboy Q before he was making mainstream records. You know what I mean? I want to hear about y'all times about that. The early Big Sean, Big Sean Volume 3, Finally Famous Volume 3. Like, y'all don't know nothing about that, man. I want to see who was around for them eras. You know what I mean? Blue and Exile, Above the Heavens. Y'all don't want to get me started. But Money Makai, to close this episode out, Money Makai gave us a story. He says, this girl I haven't seen in about 3 to 4 years gets back in touch with me. And to be honest, I had a thing for her before, but it never amounted to anything. So me and her text each other a lot, catching up. I had to go to read more. A lot of catching up on each other, a little bit of flirting here and there, and all of a sudden she begs me to watch Grease for her. That is very peculiar that she asked you to watch Grease. I like Grease, but y'all are kind of young. So he says, I didn't really want to do it, but I'm trying not to blow it. So I watched the movie. Not as bad as I thought. Exactly. Grease is pretty decent. So she's beyond happy. Now all of a sudden she's not responding to anything. And somebody replied to him, and they're called I Am Nike Thomas. He says, that's pretty common actually. Someone who might be newly single is looking for attention and they get that attention from you. But if her ex or someone she had her eye on seems to be interested in her, then she'll just forget all about you. Guys and girls both do this, and I think that's $1 million comment. I'm going to like that comment right there and heart it because he's right, Money Makai. That's just what that is. That's potentially what it could be. I don't want to say specifically, but I think that is what it could be, and he's very head on with it, right on the money. Newly single people, you gotta understand, when people get out of a relationship, is new. Since they were in a relationship, they were dating somebody, they're used to constantly having somebody to talk to, they're constantly getting attention from somebody. So now when that relationship is done, that's new for them to not have somebody that they're getting attention from. So they're going to go try to get attention from somebody that they can get it from, and then if that ex and them work it out, they're going to put you off. It's no hard feelings, but that's just possibly what it means. It's not that she did anything crazy, did anything wrong. She just probably got back with her ex, and she can't no longer talk to you. And it happens. Like he said, guys and girls both do it. That's a fact. You'll probably do it at some point in your life, not intentionally to hurt anybody, but that's just what it is. You try to move on, which is the right thing to do. But then when your ex contacts you back and you want to revisit that, you have to let the other person go. So, it's a part of the game. It's a part of how it goes. Unfortunately, I don't think it's anything that you should be offended about or look too deep into. That's just how it is sometimes. Like he said, both girls and guys do it. And like I said, you'll probably do it at some point in your life. Foxes are gods. He says, I know it's not very specific, but can you talk about the Jordan 11 breads and when they come out / how to get them, since I was so confused and a pre-order came out a week ago. So what happens sometimes when there's highly anticipated shoes, Nike or sneakers that will do like a random drop, early drop. It doesn't mean that the shoe is not coming out anymore. It doesn't mean that you lost your chance. It's just an early chance for other people to get them. So now it created 2 opportunities for people to get them. So now more people can possibly get them. So they're still coming out December 14th. You're still going to have your chance to get them. They just had an early drop. That's all that is. That's all that is. It's just that simple. You go to sneakers app, Nike.com, and when they come out, they have a time and a date, and you make sure you're awake and ready at that time and date to go ahead and try to get them. And that's just the best way to get them. Unless you're close to a Foot Locker or Nike or whatever store that's near you that you can get them, then you do it that route. But I get mine offline. The day and time is always there in the sneakers app, and it's just that simple. I thank y'all for episode 2. Please, leave a comment and your thoughts on every single topic. And please be detailed. Let me know how you feeling. Let me know your opinions on things. This is what the series is about. I don't want you just to say, oh, I agree with you, P. Good point. Tell me why you agree, why you disagree, what you think about that, what you think about this. Give me detail. Don't forget to drop comments on topics for the next episode. Again, it can be about anything. It don't always have to just be music. It could be stories that you have, situations, life, girls, grades, school, career choices, goals, whatever it is. This is the group chat. We talk about everything. Nothing is off limits. And please interact with the comments when they're made so I can know which ones y'all want to hear me talk about. Again, I'm looking to pick at least 3 to 5 topics to talk about in every episode. It doesn't mean that I can't do more. It doesn't mean that I won't do least, but that's what I'm looking for in every episode. So please like them, react to them, comment to them. I'm looking at everything. So I'm looking at the conversations y'all will have in the comments above somebody's or underneath somebody's comment. And that's how I'm going to decide which topics is, more important than others. So if your topics ain't getting picked, it ain't no hard feelings. It ain't because I don't like you. It's just because I'm looking for the ones that have the like, because that's what the people are looking for and that's what they want to hear. So please don't forget that. Again, appreciate y'all watching and tuning in. Love to all of y'all. Like and subscribe if you're new. And I will see y'all next time on episode 3. Group Chat, Pee Wee the Plug. We out.